Hi, I'm Alicia and welcome to my channel Papercraft Secrets. Today we are making a set of cute little purple cards. We've got 3 little gnome pictures and 3 little fairy pictures, and I'm calling this printable Purple Magic. So this is a cute little printable available in my shop, and this is the prize for the September winners in the Papercraft Secrets Classroom competition. Every month we have a fresh challenge, and every month everybody who enters the challenge in the Papercraft Secrets Classroom receives a free printable, and this is September's free printable, but it is also available in the store at papercraftsecrets.com.au. So these are the cute little cards we're going to be making today. This one says Be Magical. They're very quick and easy to make. Cute little gnomes. Happy birthday. We've got a variety of sentiments. We've got a beautiful flower here that we're putting on the front and the little inside piece. And this one says thank you. So a variety of sentiments. You can use these for birthday cards, thank you cards, happy birthday, what else have we got? Just for you, and be magical. And that's the cards we're going to be making today. And this is the little printable that we're using. It's called Purple Magic. Here's our sentiment page. There's even a happy anniversary in there as well. We have a page of butterflies, purple butterflies, and some soft moss green leaves that we use for our flowers. We have our beautiful circle images, 3 fairies and the 3 little purple gnomes. We have some lovely little flowers that we're going to cut out and create with. And then we have our card pieces here, inside and outside. Got a spare bit of paper in there, we'll take that one out. And there's our card. So we've got 3 different sheets of card bases, so 6 cards altogether that we are making today in our tutorial. Here's our flowers and our focal picture, our butterflies and our leaves, and our sentiments. And this is the beautiful Purple Magic printable that is available at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au. And the first step that we are doing today is we're just going to be cutting out our card bases. I'm using a paper trimmer to cut mine out. You can use your scissors if you prefer, or you can use the PNG files provided and cut this out on your Cricut machine if you prefer. So I'm just going through and cutting out all of those little rectangles that are going to be on the front and the inside of each one of our cards. And they're just lovely magical forest sort of images. We've got some toadstool little or mushroom little images, because this Purple Magic printable has a little bit of a magical feel to it. And here I am, I cut out all of those now, and so now I'm moving on to cutting out my circles. Obviously, if you do have an electronic cutting machine, it's a lot quicker and easier to cut circles on an electronic cutting machine. So I probably would suggest that, unless you're like me and you just prefer to just cut, you know, like I love cutting. I love I love to sort of get away from technology and just do the old-fashioned way. So I'm more of a fussy cutter than a electronic cutting machine person. But I do realize that, you know, the cutting machine can cut it out a lot neater possibly than I can. I wanted these card bases to have a purple border around them. So what I'm doing is I'm just pasting those onto some purple cardstock and just cutting around the picture so that it has just this little bit of a border, which is just a nice purple touch to it. I really like that look of that purple border. My measurements would be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So they're not the greatest of measurements, to be honest. No one really likes cutting in eighths. But that was how it worked out for me. So I'm just going to trim these down now to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 to fit all 6 of the card inserts and the card front covers, or the card base. And then that will fit just nicely around with a purple border. And the thing I like about the purple border is that it just makes the image pop a little bit more. You don't have to do the purple border if you don't want to. You don't have to do purple. You can do whatever color you like. I just felt like doing purple because it's purple magic, and I've got a bit of an addiction to purple at the moment, it seems. All of the printables that I've been making have been purple lately. So there we go. We're going to continue on with that and get all of those onto the purple cardstock. And now I'm going to create my base card. Now I'm using this beautiful moss green colored cardstock because, you know, it feels magical, the purple and the green, that the nature is the green part, green leaves, green forest, moss, you know, all of those sort of things. So I wanted to choose this moss green color to coordinate with the quite dark purple cardstock that I chose. Of course, you can use any color that you like. Could be pink, could be black, could be white, could be natural. Whatever you choose is good for you. And I'm just going to glue that on, and let's have a look and see what we think. I think it's quite beautiful. I like the color scheme. Sort of picks up the green leaves a little bit there. So there we go. So we're gluing that on the front, and we're also gluing that on the inside of the card. Just felt like that was a bit wide. I'm just going to trim that down a bit. So I'm going with the measurements 4 1/8 by 10 7/8 for my card. Previously with these type of cards, I've just done a 4-inch card, and that way you can fit 3 cards to one 12 by 12. But because I've added that extra purple border in, I've needed to make my cards just a little bit wider this time. So I'm going with that 4 1/8 by 10 7/8 measurement and folding that in half and smoothing it down. And then I'm just going to add on my front piece here, the purple trees, and then I'm matching the purple trees on the inside. And that is looking good. And then repeating that for all of the cards, cutting them all at 4 1/8 by 10 7/8, folding them all up and gluing them all on. And that is the base cards all done now, and they look really, really good. I'm loving the purple and the green, very magical, and I'm happy with that. So my next step is I'm going to add a purple border around these little circles. Now, if you have a die, either a circular die or a scallop die, or a vine die or whatever you like. If you have a die that you want to use, or if you want to cut these circles out on your electronic cutting machine, please feel free to. The only reason that I'm not using a die is because I wanted you to be able to make these cards without needing any extra materials. So I haven't used any dies myself, but feel free to add a scallop die, a circle die, a wreath die, whatever suits you, or simply cut out on your Cricut. I'm doing everything by hand today, so I'm going to cut out around these circles with my scissors. Once they're all cut out, I wanted to offset the circle a little bit on the card. You do not have to do this if you don't like this look. If you want to center your circle directly in the middle of the card, you most certainly can do that. I chose to do it like this time for something a little bit different. I wanted to have that circle hanging off the edge of the card. The reason was that I wanted to be able to see the background pictures underneath a little bit more, and I just wanted it to be a little bit more artistic than just a straight card. So I'm just going through and gluing on my images, and I've picked backgrounds that I think suit the image as best I could. You don't have to do the same. You can change your image to whatever background you prefer. My next step was to choose and cut a sentiment for each card, choose and cut a butterfly for each card, and choose and and cut some flowers and some leaves for each card. So I did a lot of fussy cutting off camera, getting all of that ready. Of course, if you're doing it on the Cricut or your electronic cutting machine, I think you can do everything except the flower. I don't think you can cut the flower unless you work it out yourself for that one. So I pasted the butterfly on the top left-hand corner of the card, and I just added some little foam squares for the backs of my sentiments, and then I just placed the sentiment across the top of the image. My next step was to glue on my leaves, and like, admittedly, I experimented a bit with my flowers and my leaves. As I moved my way through the card, I felt like I got a little bit better with the flowers and the leaves as I practiced. In this one here, I just did leaves, petal, petal, petal. When I got to this one, I sort of used a little foam square for the base flower. Just gave it a little bit more height. So that's an option, to put your flower on a little foam square and just give it a little bit of height from the page, which I think looks better. I curved up the petals with my fingers to give it just a little bit more dimension. I glued that second layer petal down, and then I glued the top layered petal down. But on the rest of the cards, I actually used a foam dot for the second or the middle layer as well. By the time I got to the second or the third card, I started to use 2 leaves per card, so I cut out some more leaves. And the best thing about printables is you can print as many times as you want. You only need to print once for 2 leaves on each card, but if you wanted to do a layout with lots of leaves and flowers, you could print that leaf page as many times as you want. So I ended up positioning, and it took a little bit to get right for each of them. They're all slightly different. Positioning 2 leaves in. It covered up my sentiment a little bit, so in the end I actually chopped off that leaf and repositioned it. There's my little foam square under that middle layer, and then for the top layer I just glued it straight down. So I'm making a little floral cluster there, on the card, which I think is quite cute. I hope you like it. Very easy and basic. These cards are so cheap to create. All you need is paper, cardstock, and your printer and your ink. I added a little pearl diamante flower center, which I purchased from AliExpress. You can use flat back pearls, you could use diamantes, you could use just kindy glitz in the center of your flower, whatever suits you the most. But yeah, these cards are very quick to make. They're very cheap to make. They look nice. People are going to love them. They've just got that lovely magical feel. To us, they're quite simple. To people who aren't very knowledgeable about cards, they can be the most beautiful gift that they've received. I gave out some Halloween cards yesterday to friends, and they were astounded at the cards. I was like, what? They're just a card. And they were like, these are amazing. So I think you can sort of, when you're making cards a lot, you can not realize how much people can appreciate a handmade card. So I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you like the Purple Magic printable, and if you wish to purchase the Purple Magic printable, please feel free to hop on over to www.papercraftsecrets.com.au and have a little look around in the shop and see all of the printables that we have over there, and lots of ideas for using those printables. And I look forward to seeing how you use the printable and what you can create with it. Now, if you do love printables and you're thinking you might want to buy some, it is actually better value to become a part of the Papercraft Secrets classroom. For under $5 a month AUD, you will receive a printable free a month and video tutorials on how to make all of the projects. So if you are interested in printables, it's much more affordable to join the classroom than to buy the printables separately, just so you know. Thank you so much for watching this video tutorial. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I really hope that you have a lovely crafty day.